Chappets! I'm looking at a game today called Sapiens. Now Sapiens isn't out in English at the moment, it's only out in French, but it is coming your way because I've heard the Yellow have picked it up, and so it's coming to us English speaking players. Not that you need to speak English to play this game, because this game is like playing dominoes. In this game, you take control of a tribe of cavemen, and no, not that sort of cavemen. That's better. You take control of a group of cavemen, and you're going from cave to cave, and this gives you points. And along your route, you're collecting food, which again gives you points. As I said, this game plays like dominoes. Let's take a closer look at how it works. At the beginning of the game, each player will set up a map in front of them like this. You build this map from 2 tiles. Which you connect together, and they're double-sided and they're all different, so you can make a combination of different forests and plains however you play. Hey, and then you take a color of your choice, so I've chosen red here. You get these little red tokens for attacking the other players, because there's a little bit of player versus player. You have these tokens which are special powers, and then you place these on the caves around the board and the waterfall, and you do this randomly, and then you reveal them to see where these can be collected from. After you've done that, you place your 2 scoring tokens at 0, but I'm just going to give you a demonstration of how the scoring works. As you can see, you have 2 scoring tokens. You have 1 for caves and 1 for food. Okay, at the end of the game, you remove the highest scoring ones, so green, red, blue, and yellow, and that will tell you who the winner is. There you can see. So you put all your scoring tokens on at 0. Each player will then take 4 tiles, and this will be their reserve, and these tiles are resemble dominoes. This is a special promotion one, so ignore that. It's not in the base game. But as you can see, they're like dominoes. They got 2 sides. There's also 5 placed in the middle, and this is a reserve. And depending on the number of players, X amount of these tiles will be taken out and chucked back into the box. You'll have some meat tokens. You have a first player token, and you have these bear tiles, and obviously you'll have this scoring board. Now, how does the game play? Gameplay is simple. You're basically taking one of your tiles from your reserve and placing it on your board, and then replacing that tile with another from the middle pool reserve, and that's it. And then you'll be going on to your next turn, and you'll be putting another domino on, and then you're replacing that, and so on and so on and so on and so on. So let's get into the intricacies of the game. Intricacies, he said. I can start at any of the caves situated around the board, depending on the icon. So I could start at this stone cave, or I could start at this fist cave, but I could not start at this house cave because this space is inaccessible to get this. Okay, what I'll do is I'll start from this cave here, because there's a token on it. Stone. I get to keep this as well, and I get to score 6 cave points because there was a token on it. If there hadn't been a token on it, I would only score 4 cave points. As I said, what I'll do is I'll replace that tile from the reserve, and then turn over another tile for the reserve, and then game goes round the table. My second turn will be obviously to connect domino styling like so. So I'd have to put a fist next to a fist. What that will do is that will give me 1 food point, because that's the connecting spaces, and then it would activate this power of the fist, which I'll go through later. Now if I'd put it here, it would have given me 2 food points. Actually, I'm going to use this one here, so I'm going to put that there. I get 2 food points, and then I activate the fist action, and then what I do is I recuperate another tile domino to place there. Next turn comes around. Now I could do several things. I could use this one here to go here if I wanted to. I'd get 2 food points, and then I'd activate the house power. And the other thing is, you have these forest areas and you have these plain areas. Now you can deforest any of the forest areas like I've done here. I've turned them into plains, but I cannot turn a plain into a forest unless I have a special power which lets me do that. So what I'm going to do instead is I am going to play this tile here, and I'm going to place it here because this will lead me back into a cave, which will give me 6 points because the fist is there, and the house is there. I'd get 2 food points. I'd activate that power, and then I get this power to keep as well. Ha ha ha, this is good. I replace this, and as you can see, you can do big combinations like this. I could connect these together here, but obviously I'd have to do that because I could not put a forest on a plain. And then I could do this as well, and then I'd activate 2 of these powers. So I'd activate this power twice and this power twice. Gameplay just keeps going around like this. Now let's talk about the powers. There are 8 special powers in the game, and they are activated by either using one of your tiles. They're one shot, so you turn them over once they're used, or normally it's when you connect 2 tiles together which have the same symbol. Water. If you connect 2 water tiles together, you get to exchange one of your tiles from your reserve with another player or with the reserve pool. Or you can just use the tile and do the same thing and flip it over. The house. If you connect 2 houses together, you get 3 cave points immediately. Again, the token you can use as a one-off and get 3 points instantly. The mammoth. You connect 2 of these together, you get to take a piece of meat with you. If you wish to, you can cash that in for points, and this is a bit of a push your luck element. As you can see on the scoreboard here, the more meat you have at the time you cash it in, the more food points you will get. So push your luck as much as you can. The token works a little differently. You connect the meat, but you cannot cash in. You just connect an extra piece of meat, et voila. Continue. Connect 2 bones together, you can have another go, so you can immediately play another tile. But the thing is, you will not collect food points and you will not activate the special power. But if you do happen to go into a cave, you do get the cave points. That's a one-time use even with the tile. Connecting 2 fists together means that you go on a bit of a raid. What you can do is you take one of your fist tokens and you can give it to another player and place it on one of their tiles in their reserve, like so. If a player uses that tile, what will happen is you will steal a food point from them. So you get a +1 food and they get a -1 food. You return your token and game continues as normal. Same with the token. Connecting 2 stones together, or using the stone power, you can get to take one of the tiles off of the board. This is especially important for those ones which are stuck in the water corners on either side, and help you use those powers later on in the game. The tree gives you forest power. When you collect 2 together, you get a bonus food point. So instead of collecting 1 food point, I'd actually collect 2. And so as you can see, you can get a maximum of 5 food points if you place it in the right place. But this tile works a little differently. What this lets you do is it lets you forest a plain. So for example, if I use it, I can put this tile here, making this now a forest because it was a plain before, which is a break in the rules. And finally, there's fire. If you connect fire, you can either scare a bear away or scare a bear onto someone else's territory. This is a bear tile. You basically, if you want to, you can place it on another player's tile and it'll block that space for them. Also, you can take a food point for each tile that it touches. So in this case, it touches 1 tile, so I'd only get 1 food point from them. But if I put it here, I'd get 3 points from them. But the thing is, it doesn't really block them that much, if you know what I'm saying. And as I said, if you've got a bear on your terrain, you can connect 2 fires together to scare the bear away, freeing up the space. The tile works exactly the same. If for any reason you cannot play a tile on your turn, your crew of cavemen give up. You just basically flip all these tiles over, and you can no longer go on those spaces, and then you have to start all over again from another cave. Ah, what a shame. So let's go, there we go, water cave. So I get 7 points there, but if I'd started there I would only get 3 points. Ugh. So the game keeps going round, you place a tile on your board, you replace your reserve, and it keeps going until the reserve pool in the middle is empty. Once it's empty, everyone has one more turn each, and then you look at the scoreboard. You remove your highest scoring marker off of it, and that will leave the final resolute score. And then you decide, well, you don't decide, but that will decide who the winner is. So what do I think of this? Good? Bad? Or ugly? Sapiens is a board game that not everybody should try to copy, right? I mean that in the nicest sense. Now let me clear that up a little bit for you. Some years ago, this came out, yeah? And it was a dice game which used the Yahtzee mechanic, and it was wonderful and everyone loved it. And then all of a sudden there were a plethora of these games coming out, and it just seemed to kind of be wishy-washy. It kind of just, the games were not really well thought out. It was just a case of, I know what, let's whack that mechanic and do this with it. And a lot of games just fell through the cracks, and there was a lot of games which were popular, but you couldn't distinguish them between King of Tokyo and whatever it was supposed to be. So what I'm saying is, I don't want everyone to take up this domino mechanic as the new hip happening thing, and then all of a sudden there's about 1,000 games where you're putting dominoes together, and then there's just like a wish-wash of really bad ideas and themes. This works really well, making a road, a path with your tribe, with dominoes. It works really well. It's a great theme. It's fun, but just don't copy it and just whack on Arkham Horror the domino game, or Pan Schmemic the domino game, or Roll Through the Domino. The rulebook is very short and very well written and described. There's plenty of images and plenty of examples. It's very simple to read. There's not really a lot of text in this at all. And as usual, on the back there's a reference sheet of just basically all the powers. The box that everything comes into is okay. It's a nice plastic insert, but the only problem is some of these pieces are a nightmare to take out. They really are tightly squeezed in. There should be they've made room for your little finger to go in, but when you get to the bottom, they're really hard to chug out. Component quality, everything is quite a good standard chunky Kunga board. Everything is nice. The boards, the artwork, as you can see, it's cartoony. All these dominoes have slightly different designs on them, so no designs are the same. As I said, I've got these double ones, which are promo ones, which are not in the base game, so which are kind of funny, like this camping car here. But as I said, they're lovely to look at. You can look at the cavemen swimming in the swimming pool, or just relaxing and chilling out, or fishing, or whatever. And it's enjoyable. Nice wooden components. Everything is really, really kind of almost 5-star quality. As I've said, the game is basically dominoes with powers, and each player with an individual map. And it's really simple to play and really easy to pick up. Probably nice to have a little reference card of each of the powers instead of one book, because then you pass it around. But the powers are quite easy to remember after a while of playing. The game is simple. Children can play this game, although there is a very heavy level of strategy, especially with the powers, and especially when the player interaction kicks in, when you're either playing fire to put bears on people's boards to block up their spaces, or whether you're swapping tiles with a player, or even at the end of your turn when you're taking one of the tiles from the reserve. You can obviously just take a tile which you can see another player wants to finish a route to get to a cave. and that is fun. It's a nice little kind of stab in the back of your friends as you're playing the game, and it makes the game light and enjoyable. And obviously with the boards, which can be interchanged, it gives it a bit of replayability. Again, by taking some of the dominoes out, because I think there's like 2 of each pair, so like there's 2 of water and stone. So if they accidentally get both taken out of the game, then that domino doesn't exist, so to speak. Plenty of replayability. It's very easy to play, but on the downside, what's going to happen is there's going to be those moments when you play with someone who has the problem of looking at every domino on the table and working out a strategy for every single thing going on. Should I activate this power now? Should I take that there? Should I try and get there? And that can bog the game down. If you play with a player who is very, very thinky, this game can drag and drag. The time is normally about right. We've got to a stage where we play it quite quickly, so we can play it in about half an hour to 45-50 minutes, no problems. And it's a fun family game, but play with the wrong person and this thing can go on for a bit longer than you want it to be. What would I like to see from this game in the future? Well, maybe an expansion, which is one big board where players are all playing on the same board together, and they're all trying to get from one cave to another, and their paths are intertwining with each other, a bit like Suro, you know, the dragon game where you got the... But when you fight each other and I don't know, just there could be a really nice expansion there. What's going to be up in the road for this game, I don't know. But at the moment, as it stands, it's a fun, great game. So on top of all those other positives and those very small negatives, there's also that push your luck element with the meat. Should you cash your meat in? Are you going to need some more mammoth tiles later on in the game? Or are there going to be any mammoth tiles later on in the game? Ooh, nail-biting stuff. And then the end of game scoring, which has those, you've got 2 scores, but it's always going to be your lowest one that counts. It's kind of nice to try and keep a good equilibrium in, no, not equilibrium. Kind of keep the scores equal, because Equilibrium's a bad film. But this is not a bad film. This is a great game. You should go and check it out. Sapiens. Until next time, play nice with your dice, because you only roll them thrice. Like in King of Tokyo and lots of other dice games.